At my daughter's 1-month-old celebration, my husband Ethan got drunk upon hearing his first love Grace had divorced. He tried to drive 1,000 miles overnight to get her. She still loves me. She's got nothing left. She's waiting for me. Biting back tears. I called his parents and filed for divorce. He didn't leave that night. The next day when Ethan saw Grace's social media post showing her slit wrists, he dangled our baby over the balcony railing. "Lily, now you'll know how it feels to lose everything you love." I lunged to grab my daughter, but he pushed us both over the railing. The moment before impact, I found myself back at the celebration holding my newborn. This time, I let him chase his true love. He ended up paralyzed in a car crash before dying painfully, robbed of even his madness. As the party wound down, Ethan and I were seeing guests off. Only his college friends remained, their drunken chatter carrying across the room. "Big news, Grace filed for divorce today. Thought she married well? More like became alive and made for some rich family. Serves her right. If she'd married Ethan, we all thought they'd be the high school sweethearts that made it. Everyone envied Ethan back then." I trembled, clutching my miraculously alive daughter. The phantom sensation of falling made my legs buckle. But Ethan was too absorbed in the conversation to notice. "Lily, take the baby home first. I'll join them for drinks." Without waiting for my response, he sauntered over with a glass. "So, Grace. Huh? What happened?" I went home and drafted divorce papers. That night, a half-sober Ethan stumbled in. "Lily, I'm sorry." He slurred before grabbing car keys. When I snatched them away, he wailed, "I need to find Grace. She's waiting for me." Throughout our relationship, Ethan had sworn Grace meant nothing. He'd been the perfect partner, holding umbrellas in rainstorms, nursing me through illnesses, shielding me from dangers. During my pregnancy, he'd doted on me obsessively. Colleagues and family all praised him as the ideal husband. In my previous life, I'd screamed and barricaded the doors, demanding why his love vanished overnight. He'd shoved his phone in my face, showing Grace's desperate messages. "She has no family. No friends, only me." Now I simply called his parents. Let them deal with their son's midlife crisis. As Ethan drunkenly ranted about lost love, I rocked my baby, savoring her warmth. The Rogers family could keep their precious golden boy. This time, I wouldn't beg, wouldn't fight, wouldn't waste a single breath on explanations. Let the star-crossed lovers have their tragic ending. My daughter and I had better things to do than star in their soap opera. In front of them, I said to Ethan, "If you want to leave, sign the divorce papers first." His mother kept hitting and cursing at him while his father threw cold water in his face. He endured it all like a soulless puppet. The next morning, sobered up, he vowed to apologize properly and coaxed his parents out. But when I went to prepare milk for our daughter, he suddenly snatched her and rushed to the balcony. "Lily, Grace cut her wrists this morning. Happy now?" Ethan's eyes burned crimson, lips twisting cruelly as he dangled our daughter over the railing by her tiny clothes. Terrified, I approached cautiously. "If Grace could tell you. She's clearly alive. Go find her. Just give me back our child." Our daughter's face turned purple, whimpering weakly. "Don't you understand? She's bleeding out because of you." Ethan roared, deliberately lifting her higher. "I'll make you taste this agony too." I lunged to grab her, but he shoved us both over the edge. "Since you're in such hurry, die as penance for Grace." During the free fall, I miraculously found myself holding our baby safely at her full moon celebration again. This time, I'll let them have their twisted romance. Let's see if love alone sustains a destitute man. Death's too merciful, true suffering comes from living through hell. "Lily, open this door and give me the car keys. Don't make me hurt you." Ethan's snarling voice snapped me back. Instead of calling his parents like before, I turned toward the pre-activated security cameras. Cue the Oscar-worthy performance. Tears streaming, I clutched his arm. "What am I to you? What was our marriage? He faltered. Stop. I don't know. Shoving his phone at me. He slurred. All I know is Grace needs me. With trembling fingers, I entered my birthday to unlock his device. His screen displayed Grace's recent social media posts. Nothing left but memories. My dream, the boy who promised me a home comes back with roses. Just empty dreams, maybe this world's not worth staying. I photographed every post. Time for surgical precision. Producing 2 contracts. I embraced him fiercely. Since Grace matters more than your wife and child combined. Divorce me. Sign over the house. Cars. Company. Savings. And custody. Then you're free to chase your precious Grace. He immediately snatched the agreement without glancing at it. Signing the divorce papers and stock transfer agreement in haste. He pressed his thumbprint before hurling the documents at me. Happy now? The pages scattered across the floor as our daughter wailed in the nanny Emily's arms. Trembling violently, I fumbled for the car keys and my phone controlling the door locks. Ethan ripped my clothes and grabbed the phone, shoving me aside before slamming the door, collapsing onto shattered glass from his previous tantrum. I watched blood seep through my palm while choking on sobs. Emily sighed, settling the baby down to examine my wound. Lily, let me see that. Clutching my daughter with blood-stained hands, I dissolved into hysterics. Emily quietly gathered the legal documents and returned my phone. The Rogers family lives nearby. Should we call them? I obsessively dialed Ethan's number until met with endless busy signals and red exclamation marks on the messaging app. He blocked me? After everything? My eyes fell on the agreements in Emily's hands. Suddenly shoving the infant at her, I seized the papers and bolted to my walk-in closet, locking them in the jewelry safe. Emily's voice carried through the door as she notified Ethan's parents. Tugging at my hair, I texted my attorney friend Sophia frowny-face papers signed. In-laws en route. Her instant reply flashed frowny-face prioritize stock transfer. Court divorce takes months force registry filing now. Burn this. Call me. Deleting the thread. I drifted zombie-like from the closet when Emily pleaded, Lily, at least bandage your hand? The Rogers will be here soon. I let her lead me back under the living room surveillance cameras. Resuming my performance. After makeshift first aid, I sobbed to Sophia on speakerphone, Ethan abandoned us. What do I do? Her outraged response echoed, where is that bastard? I'm coming over, left files at your place anyway. The doorbell rang as blood-streaked glass crunched under Mr. and Mrs. Rogers' expensive shoes. Their horrified gasps filled the room. Is the baby hurt? Let me check. What happened here? Where's Ethan? I escalated my weeping as Emily narrated events. Dissatisfied with her bland account, I thrust my phone at them. Dad. Mom. Ethan went crazy after seeing Grace's Instagram story. He's racing to her right now. My trembling finger highlighted Grace's post timestamped 20 minutes ago. He blocked my number. Check the security footage yourselves. Mrs. Rogers paled watching door cam recordings of Ethan's violent exit. Outside the camera's view, I pressed bloodied fingertips to fresh bandages, ensuring crimson seeped through the perfect visual punctuation to this tragedy. Seeing Ethan's drunken state on the surveillance footage again, his mother's face twisted with rage. Has he lost his damn mind? Don't worry, Lily. I'll personally break his legs when he gets home. His father worried more about their son's safety. He can barely walk straight. Yet he's driving because that homewrecker told him to? It's the middle of the night, what if something happens? Accident? Oh. I'd make damn sure there'd be consequences. Serving a few months in jail for DUI would be getting off too easy. I grabbed his mother's hand anxiously. Mom? What should we do? The car has EZ pass. He could already be on the highway without anyone stopping him. The Rogers parents panicked, bombarding Ethan's phone with alternating calls and text messages. When he didn't answer initially, his father left increasingly furious voice messages. Their desperation grew with each unanswered ring. The doorbell chimed again as Sophia arrived. I collapsed into her arms, genuine tears streaming down my face. The memory of that weightless fall and my daughter's vanishing grasp still haunted me. I let myself crumble like a rag doll. Sophia turned her stormy gaze to the elder Rogers. Don't blame me for speaking out of turn. But if Ethan doesn't return tonight, both legal agreements take immediate effect. The frantic parents readily agreed, of course. Lily darling. We'll make that bastard crawl back to apologize. As midnight approached, their relentless calls finally connected. Ethan's slurred voice echoed through the speakerphone. Dad. Mom. I'll explain later. On highway, his words dissolved into incoherent mumbling. Whether from worsening intoxication or exhaustion. Both parents shouted over each other, pull over to the emergency lane or nearest rest stop. Call highway patrol. Just stop driving. Send your location. Ethan suddenly roared with startling clarity, you're the reason Grace left me. Your goddamn prejudice against the Millers. Nobody stops me this time. An engine revved violently before metallic crunching noises erupted. Ethan. Ethan. The Rogers' screams were cut off by static. The collision sounded catastrophic. What a shame. Grace's planned performance tomorrow morning would lose its star spectator. Chaos engulfed the living room. Mrs. Rogers swallowed hypertension pills and heart medication while her husband paced like a caged animal. I pinched Sophia's arm and dramatically fainted into her arms. She played along perfectly. Lily. Wake up. You can't collapse now. We don't even know Ethan's condition. I came to minutes later, wincing from the sharp pain in my philtrum where she'd pinched me awake. The show must go on. Tears streamed down my face. Dad. Mom. Ethan, before I could finish. My phone rang. A police officer informed us to come to City General Hospital immediately. The vehicle's severely damaged. Firefighters are extracting survivors. Ambulances are on site. Sophia, our family's legal counsel, took charge of communication. The officer soon sent crash scene photos through encrypted channels. My heart leaped with vicious delight. Ethan had clearly been speeding when his sports car careened off a mountain highway, smashing into rock formations. Though the airbags deployed, his legs remained trapped in the crumpled wreckage. Rescue crews worked with hydraulic cutters as we watched live footage. The poetic justice? After driving 100 miles to meet his mistress, he'd now be transported back by ambulance for emergency surgery. The Rogers family descended into chaos, while my in-laws panicked. I perfected my performance of a distraught wife, clutching Sophia's shoulder for support during the live broadcast. On screen, paramedics finally freed Ethan, his face ghostly pale, right leg mangled beyond recognition. His first conscious words? Where's my phone? A medic held up the shattered device while adjusting his oxygen mask. Your family's watching. Stay strong. Family indeed. His true devotion belonged elsewhere. Ripping off the mask, he rasped, I need to make a call. Before collapsing unconscious, even near death. His last thought was contacting Grace. Sophia muttered darkly about Romeo here literally dying for love. The feed cut. My in-laws said nothing about their son's obvious betrayal. Too preoccupied with his injuries. I dabbed at non-existent tears. The perfect image of a grieving spouse. When the ambulance arrived, surgeons rushed Ethan into the OR. Doctors offered vague prognosis about diminishing vitals and extensive testing needed. I bit my lip to suppress a smile, burying my face against Sophia's blazer. That's when Mother Rogers snapped. Why didn't you stop him? She shrieked, nails digging into my bandaged forearm. You knew he was drunk. The classic blame shift. Never their golden boy's fault. Good thing Sophia and I prepared for this. I cradled my injured hand, voice trembling. The security footage shows him determined to see Grace. What could I do? The deluded woman pressed on. You should have called us. Or reported his drunk driving. Our rehearsed counterattack unfolded flawlessly. Let them rage. Soon enough, the truth would bloom like bloodstains on surgical gauze. Sophia shielded me behind her. As my staunch defender. She didn't mince words. Did Lily even get a chance to stop him? Ethan snatched the car keys from her. abandoning his wife and newborn daughter to chase death. Anyone can play Monday morning quarterback by reporting drunk driving after the fact. But where were you people during those critical hours between the call and the crash? Frankly, Lily showed remarkable restraint by not sending that bastard to hell right then and there. Her courtroom-honed verbal barrage left my mother-in-law speechless. The older woman quickly changed tactics, demanding Sophia stay out of family matters. My father-in-law barked. Enough. This isn't Lily's fault. We're disturbing the medical staff. Collapsing into a chair, my mother-in-law wailed about Ethan's foolishness before fixating on Grace. That Miller harlot ruined everything. Her vitriolic tirade continued unanswered until a surgeon emerged. The medical consent form forced brutal clarity: amputate Ethan's leg or let him bleed out. I joined the tearful pleas to save his life, though privately mourned the lost opportunity for poetic justice. Post-surgery, watching Ethan wheeled into ICU, I executed my perfected swoon. Doctors attributed my collapse to postpartum frailty and trauma, prescribing rest. Finally liberated, I rushed home to my sleeping daughter. Alone with Sophia, I produced Ethan's signed stock transfer agreement. Handle this immediately. A crippled man might reconsider divorce if his mistress rejects him. My laugh tasted metallic. Better secure assets before he destroys more than cars. Sophia embraced me, murmuring about resilience. She'd never seen this steel-cord version of me, the woman who'd already plummeted from rooftops with an infant. My heart now rivaled the coldest fishmonger's. Ethan's love was performance art. I shrugged. I'm just the consolation prize for his unresolved Miller family obsession. Save your pity for the totaled Lamborghini. Her stunned silence broke into odd laughter. After finalizing plans, I composed meticulous letters to my parents and transferred bonuses to Emily. Every contingency required preparation. Desperate men make dangerous enemies. My parents' midnight call confirmed early flights. As dawn approached, I stared at the nursery monitor, calculating moves like a grandmaster. This chess match would end only when checkmate left Ethan powerless and penniless. The sky was already bright. It was nearing the time when Ethan had lost his mind in my previous life. I went out to buy a new phone and SIM card before heading to the hospital to provoke Ethan further. He'd been moved back to a regular ward but hadn't regained consciousness yet. Overnight, Ethan's parents had visibly aged, their hair streaked with gray and faces drawn with exhaustion. Of course, having stayed up all night myself, I looked even worse than them. Dad. Mom, I said meekly, Ethan losing a leg will be devastating. We need to support him and help rebuild his confidence. Ethan's mother nodded tearfully, her maternal instincts overriding everything else. His father showed faint traces of conscience, muttering half-heartedly, "This is hard on you too." I maintained a grief-stricken expression while feeling nothing but icy anticipation. All I wanted was for Ethan to wake up and witness Grace's dramatic suicide attempt. Ethan didn't disappoint. He woke up thrashing, ripping off his oxygen mask and clawing at his forelines. The anesthesia from his amputated leg must have still been numbing his senses. His parents struggled to restrain him as his mother sobbed. "Where do you think you're going? You're badly injured." I whispered helpfully. "Your leg, you shouldn't move it yet." He instinctively twitched the phantom limb, eyes widening in horror. "What's wrong with my leg? Why can't I feel my right leg?" His mother's wail answered before I could. He scrambled upright, hands groping the empty space where his limb should have been. I timidly explained the life-saving amputation, triggering his full meltdown. "Why did you let them cut it off?" He pounded the hospital bed, voice raw. "How am I supposed to live like this?" His father tried motivational speeches about overcoming disabilities. Ethan raged like a caged animal, screaming about ending his life. I grabbed his arm, laying on the guilt trip. "Don't you care about your parents? Our baby? What about Grace? She's waiting for you." The mention of Grace momentarily stunned him. Under his parents' approving gazes, I handed him the new phone. "I got your SIM replaced. You should contact her." I sobbed into my hands, peeking through my fingers. True love prevailed. He immediately called Grace. Then checked social media when she didn't answer. Her latest post showed her in a black satin gown, sprawled across pristine sheets with an empty wine bottle and artistically smeared blood around her slit wrist, captionless but devastating. Ethan's grief instantly pivoted to suicidal theatrics. His parents wrestled him like holiday ham. I suppressed an eye roll. Arterial cuts spray blood everywhere, this is clearly staged. She's fine. Rest now. I'll investigate. He clung to my words like gospel. The perfect marionette. My in-laws probably thought placating him was achievement enough. Never mind my feelings. I grabbed my phone to photograph his pitiful state, screenshot Grace's social media posts, and compiled his crash scene images, bursting into their alumni group chat. I rapid-fired messages. Hello everyone. I'm Lily, Ethan's wife. Have you seen this photo Grace posted? Ethan got into a car accident last night while rushing to meet her. He lost his right leg and now threatens suicide over her. I'm forced to ask for help. Contact me immediately if you have information about Grace. As predicted, Grace's carefully curated social media clues made the group explode. Some marveled at my composure while others thirsted for drama. I answered every inquiry with photographic evidence, thoroughly publicizing their epic romance. Soon, a tip emerged: Grace is perfectly fine, though Ethan's situation is tragic. I'll visit him at the hospital. The group smelled blood in the water. The informant? Jason, Ethan's longtime rival in our industry, whose deals I'd intercepted multiple times. Updating Ethan and his parents about Grace's safety, I stepped out to call Jason. He sneered before I could speak. Grace is unharmed. Her husband's my cousin. His injuries last night didn't even require stitches. Those social media posts? Customized for two audiences, her husband and Ethan. Can't reel in the main catch? There's always the backup plan. During their divorce cooling off period, she's making desperate plays to reconcile. Ethan actually believed himself the protagonist in this farce. Jason's laugh crackled through the receiver. He's been Grace's consolation prize since her wealthy targets slipped away. Now that she's divorcing my cousin, she's recycling old bait and Ethan's still biting. The revelation left me lightheaded. I'd married a human trash can. Jason, want to acquire my company? Let's expedite the transfer. Considering our mutual divorce interests, we've got perfect synergy. Keeping the firm risked future complications. Letting my husband's nemesis take it solved multiple problems. Jason chuckled approvingly. Name your price. Lily. 15 minutes later, we'd negotiated favorable terms, slight financial concessions in exchange for two cooperative partners. The private company transfer would complete within days. Ethan's signature on the generic sales agreement, conveniently lacking buyer details, enabled smooth processing. The $3,000 transfer fee masked substantial payments funneled to my brother's offshore account. Returning to Ethan's hospital room, I found him fixated as ever. Lily? Is Grace? She's safe, I reassured. Expect her call soon. Jason's final disclosure explained my confidence. Grace had been caught cheating with multiple partners during her marriage. My new ally's cousin had shrewdly protected assets through prenups and offshore holdings, having bankrupted herself supporting her brother. Grace now faced owing money in the divorce, hence recycling Ethan as her escape plan. Jason guaranteed his cousin would remain unmoved by Grace's antics. The stage was set. Grace Miller was clearly determined to reel in the well off Ethan. Combined with the stories I'd shared in their alumni group chat that Grace could see, getting that phone call was inevitable. Ethan, dear, just focus on resting. Once you recover, you can do whatever you want. Ethan's mother pleaded earnestly while he remained subdued, beginning to mourn his lost leg. My parents stormed into the hospital room furious. Ethan, do you think I'm dead? My father, a military veteran with a booming voice, roared loud enough to shake the room. Bullying our Lily like this? If you hadn't gotten yourself crippled first, I'd be the one breaking your legs. My petite mother swung her handbag wildly, smacking Ethan repeatedly over the head. What happened to all those promises you made when begging to marry her? You cheating scumbag. We're getting a divorce. Damn right. My father thundered. The papers are already signed. If you're not dead yet, get your ass to the courthouse. Ethan's parents fawned nervously. Let's discuss this calmly. Those divorce papers signed in anger don't mean anything. They clearly panicked about the prenup leaving Ethan penniless. Especially with his disability. My parents weren't having it. How dare that bastard think he can still be family. There's video evidence and his own signed confession with fingerprint. No take-backs. The sudden ring of Ethan's phone froze the room. Oblivious to the tension. He answered eagerly. Grace's tearful voice floated through. Why did you do something so reckless? Does your leg still hurt? Please take care of yourself. I've been so worried. I'm glad you still love me. I want nothing more than to care for you. But you're married now. The classmates are already calling me a home wrecker. Grace's words moved Ethan to tears. I signed the divorce papers the moment I heard your marriage ended. I'd never make you a mistress. We've wasted enough time, I won't lose you again. My father roared over their melodrama. We're filing those papers now. Ethan's parents didn't dare stop their love-struck son as he agreed. Yes. Let's go register the divorce immediately. Wait for me. Grace. Within minutes. My father returned with medical staff. Ambulance transport, my treat. Before Ethan's exhausted parents could react, we were speeding towards City Hall in the emergency vehicle. Divorce documents in hand. Ethan kept whispering sweet nothings to Grace throughout the ride. With his parents absent and Grace's honeyed words in his ear. That fool was racing toward divorce faster than I ever could. Getting divorced in an ambulance was probably such a rare sight that the Civil Affairs Bureau staff immediately opened a green channel for us. The entire process went suspiciously smooth. They say cheating men have this temporary insanity phase. Like addicts craving their fix. Wise wives seize this window to negotiate divorce terms while they're still pliable. Never understood it before. But boy did I get front row seats this time. Thank God. Clutching the receipt, I told Ethan. The car's totaled. I'm resetting all house locks. Savings account and our daughter stay with me. I'll pack your things and leave them at your parents' doorstep. Let's not bother each other anymore. Grace will probably rush here to nurse you anyway. No point in me visiting the hospital and cramping your style. I paused. Then added with mock concern. But do me a favor, don't tell Grace about getting cleaned out in the divorce. She's already worried sick about your condition. No need to burden her with trivial money matters. Right? Ethan mistook my sarcasm for genuine care. Actually mustering some guilt. Lily. I'm sorry. I recoiled like he'd offered me poison. Hastily waving him off. The Rogers family chased our ambulance in their car the whole way. By the time they arrived, the EMTs had already left. I slid into my parents' vehicle without giving them a chance to speak. That afternoon, I hired movers to clear Ethan's belongings and immediately relocated to my parents' house. The deed was already in my name, so no transfers needed. After resetting the locks, I listed the property on all major platforms at below market rate. Even Sophia, who's handled countless divorce cases, whistled in approval. Damn Lily. You're a machine. Wrapped this up faster than a Black Friday sale. She sobered up, adding, but remember the mandatory cooling off period. Ethan might still refuse to sign later. Any plans? Hence the rush. I sighed. While Ethan's in La La Land, his parents remain sharp. The moment Jason takes over the company, they'll panic. Sophia, lend me 2 paralegals from your firm. After making arrangements, sudden emptiness washed over me. My whole life had flipped in 48 hours. Watching my parents play with their granddaughter, the family I'd nearly lost forever, I crumpled into my mother's embrace, pouring out my dream about past tragedies. My furious parents nearly stormed the hospital to throttle Ethan themselves. The following days brought unexpected peace, lounging at home, savoring time with family. Occasional updates from Sophia's team and Jason kept me entertained. Jason's cousin breezed through his cooling off period. Marriage certificate secured. True to form, Grace flew in immediately. doting on Ethan like Florence Nightingale. When Jason finally took corporate control days later, the Rogers clan started sweating. Sophia's paralegal called Ms. Thompson. The Rogers are urging Ethan to contest the divorce for asset redistribution. They're keeping Grace completely in the dark, likely heading to litigation. I expected this, I said, already dialing Sophia. File the lawsuit now. We'll withdraw if they cave to settlement later. The Rogers tried ambushing me at our old house multiple times, finding only empty rooms. When they finally tracked me to my parents' place, my father grabbed a broom from the yard, roaring, "You dare show your faces here? Scram. Next time I won't stop at threats." Rumor has it they staked out my place several times, but I'm such a homebody that I never showed my face. On the final day of the cooling-off period, Ethan came to see me. "Lily, I don't believe you only sold the company for $5,000. The valuation was at least $12 million. Combined with the money from selling your apartment, it should total $17 million. I'm not asking for much, just $7 million. We can get our marriage license today. After all our years together. Don't be so heartless." I sneered. "Have you forgotten my parents and I paid the apartment down payment? The company investment came from us too." "Oh wait. Shouldn't we count your parents' property as marital assets too?" Negotiations collapsed. I walked away to await the lawsuit. Calling Jason, I said, "Mr. Taylor, time for your team to deliver the final shipment." Jason chuckled with glee. "Been waiting ages for this show. We'll nail it, guaranteed." That day, Jason explained the company situation to Grace. He later described the scene to me. Grace immediately started shrieking at Ethan, threatening suicide until he admitted being penniless. Somehow Jason's cousin had reeled Grace in, making her believe he still had feelings and wanted reconciliation. She instantly transformed into a harpy, screeching, "You pathetic cripple. Think I'd marry a broke loser like you? How dare you promise $5 million dowry when you can't even afford toilet paper?" Every time we had sex, I wanted to vomit. Even then, Ethan begged, "I'm filing for divorce to reclaim our assets. The $5 million dowry will be yours. Grace, if you still love me, I'll work like a dog to provide for you." Grace rolled her eyes so hard they nearly got stuck. "Love? That's worthless." When Mrs. Rogers joined the shouting match, even combined with her son's efforts, they couldn't out-yell Grace. The confrontation finally shattered Ethan's delusions about his goddess, leaving him catatonic. Grace delivered the final blow with icy mockery, "You're quite the fantasist. Those romantic moments I texted my husband? You were just a prop in my performance." Learning the truth about that car accident night drove Ethan into frenzy. "I'll kill you," he roared, lunging from his wheelchair, only to faceplant on the floor. Grace kicked him, sneering, "Crippled fool playing tough? Ever seen your own reflection?" Jason's vivid retelling made me regret missing such prime drama. Ethan moped for over a month. 2 weeks before trial, he began flooding me with sappy essays, confessions, memories. Pleased to see our daughter. I kept him unblocked for entertainment value, never expecting his daily literary spam. Then he pulled a cheesy soap opera move, standing in the rain outside my house all night, later sending hospital 4 photos. I forwarded them to Jason and Sophia for group appreciation. After that spectacle, he vanished abruptly. Recalling his cruelty in our past life, I still feel lingering fear. I texted Sophia, "Be careful with Ethan's outbursts. He seems mentally unstable sometimes." On the day of the court hearing, Ethan broke down crying, "Lily, I love you. I don't want a divorce. Your Honor, our marriage isn't irreparable. I'll fix this." Sophia presented multiple pieces of evidence, security footage from my daughter's first birthday party, intimate photos of Ethan with Grace during the cooling-off period, documentation of them living at the Rogers family home, and finally, the knockout punch, a recording where Grace admitted feeling disgusted during their physical encounters. I nearly choked, suppressing laughter. Ethan's lawyer countered with the prenup signing footage, This agreement was signed while my client was intoxicated and mentally incapacitated. We declare it invalid. Sophia bombarded them with more videos. Their relationship wasn't just broken, it was pulverized. Ethan stared obsessively at me. Lily, did you ever love me? I answered calmly. I did. He burst into deranged laughter until tears streamed down his face. I'll grant the divorce. Exiting the courthouse. I tilted my face toward the sunlight. Finally free. My daughter and I could start anew. Someone tapped my shoulder. Jason stood there with his signature rogue grin. Congrats on ditching that loser. Want to crush Ethan one last time? How? Marry his arch nemesis. Make his daughter call another man daddy. It'll destroy him. Arch nemesis? You. Don't be ridiculous. I'm dead serious. Or at least consider dating with marriage potential? Less impact fell. But still. We'll see. He's amusing and wealthy. But I'm not ready for relationships. Time will tell. Months later. News broke, Ethan and Grace were dead. Not a lover's pact. Turns out they committed murder then offed themselves. Jason later explained, after realizing her sugar daddy wouldn't take her back. Grace married some average guy. Their mediocre life somehow infuriated Ethan. Probably blamed her social media posts for losing his fortune and legs. Typical, people always shift blame. That afternoon, Ethan's suicide note arrived, flowery regrets about misjudging Grace and late realized love for me. Begging forgiveness. So his precious first love got tainted. And now I'm his consolation prize? Pathetic. I burned the letter. Some stains shouldn't linger. If you can't have it, that's when you love it the most? What kind of moron thinks that? Screw that.